So Jeff, tell me about your background at Club Car.
I started with Club Car in 1991 as an engineering test technician. In the course of that work, I did some technical reviews for manuals, and that brought me into a new role as a tech writer. After doing that for several years, an opportunity to manage the technical publications department came open, and I decided to try something new then. Since that time, I've become manager of engineering systems and technical publications.
Well, great. And in that tenure, how has technical documentation or product documentation changed?
Well, the documentation, the resulting documentation has actually changed very little. Our customers have always had, they've always valued high quality publications. What has changed is the methods we use to produce that documentation. We've become much more efficient. The size of our technical publication staff has actually changed very little over the last 10 years, but the number of documents has just exploded with OEM branding for Husqvarna and Bobcat in addition to our own Club Car brands.
So Jeff, tell me what business drivers influenced the decision to move forward with improving your product documentation processes and justifying that investment.
At Club Car, we market our products using model years just like the automotive industry. So every August we have to come out with a new suite of manuals. For a standard suite of 40 English owner's manuals, we typically have about 100 translated manuals that we have to produce now, and all of those come out of our same Tech Pubs department.
Okay. And what helped you develop that tangible business case in order to justify the change in process and the investment into the PTC software?
Well, PTC was actually quite helpful in helping us develop a business case. They came in and spent a day with us going over our requirements and what our goals were, what we wanted to accomplish, and helped us find a way to achieve those goals with the software products they make.
Okay, great. And after that process, what were some of the top product or product capability factors that worked into the decision to purchase the PTC software?
The Arbortext publishing engine with its advanced automated publishing capabilities allowed us to totally streamline a lot of the desktop publishing work. There was a lot of non-value added work we had to do with flowing documents that we now don't have to do anymore.
Can you tell me how the Arbortext publishing engine has changed the way you've been doing your publishing for your documents, as well as maybe some of the metrics and ROI that you've measured?
Well, we have received hard cost savings of almost 30% on our translated manuals due to the elimination of the desktop publishing task at our localization service provider.
Okay, annually, how much would you say that savings will be for you guys in a financial?
About $109,000, $83,000 of which is hard cost, and the remaining is soft cost savings.
So Jeff, what kind of turnaround time improvements have you made now, or you're experiencing with the new software?
Well, we're seeing on average that it used to take about 6 weeks turnaround time, lead time for a translation job, and now we're at on average about 4 weeks, and sometimes better. There's a lot of variables, but we've been able to accomplish that by eliminating the desktop publishing portion of the work done at our translation service provider.
How many manuals on a publication year are you usually producing?
Wow, that's a tough question. About 40 English owner's manuals, about 100 derivatives of those in various languages and in 17 different languages. In addition to that, we produce service manuals for our Club Car and XRT branded product, as well as Bobcat and Husqvarna OEM branded products.
Okay, great. And moving forward, what kind of opportunities do you see for actually reusing content between your product models and your product documentation?
At Club Car, the way our products are marketed is that we use the same model year standards as the automotive industry. So every August we start a new model year, and we have to have that entire suite published again. So there's a tremendous amount of reuse from model year to model year. In addition to that, about 80% of our content is the same from product to product. So there's a huge potential for reuse with our content.
And you see Arbortext is playing a key role in that?
Definitely, with the ability to reuse pieces of content, that means that if we have a change that happens 3 years after the launch of a product, we would be able to make that change going back 3 model years and different brands and different document types easily.
And now, looking into the future a little bit further, Jeff, can you tell me about the business value to Club Car once you're able to put together the CAD data from ProEngineer with the Windchill and Arbortext?
That was actually a big part of the decision we chose to go with Arbortext, was the promise of associativity between the actual CAD data and the technical publications content, because after all, the change in CAD data is what actually drives the change in our documentation.
So Jeff, with your experience, what are some of the best practices that you've learned in improving your documentation processes?
Well, we found that any large software implementation should be done in phases. That's the best way to ensure success. In addition to that, centralizing control for translated documentation also helps tremendously.
Jeff, so as you continue to expand the role of Arbortext and PTC at Club Car, what are some of the things that you use to justify that investment?
Well, for any business decision, and it holds true for our PTC software purchases too, we need to identify, quantify, and measure the metrics. If we know we have to know what it costs now in order to know what we can save in the future. So that's the foundation of a strong business case. So we would continue to use those methods going forward. Okay. In addition to that, we always have to keep our eye on the ball, because the roadmap for our strategic vision changes over time. It becomes more aggressive. Things that seemed impossible 3 years ago now all of a sudden are viable.
Okay, very good. Well, Jeff, thanks so much for taking time to come up here and talk to me about your experiences with PTC and Arbortext.